My Little Puggy Chapter 1, written by Darthwill 3. Rainbow Dash and Tank were just lying on a tree, which was the former's usual hobby. Each was lying on a separate branch away from the other. Nothing got to them like a good time to stretch out and relax in the cool, fresh air. It had passed 20 minutes after getting here that Tank heard a big splash in the river nearby. He awoke with a start and looked to see a big brown bag being swept away. And it looked as if it were... Tank didn't have time to figure out what he saw was happening. He turned on his helicopter hat and hovered over to the branch that Rainbow was sleeping. Rainbow felt the nudge from Tank and woke up to see her faithful tortoise pointing to where he saw the water-bound sack.
"Oh, come on, Tank,"
she sighed. "It's just a boring old bag some pony was smart enough to get rid of, and it moves?" she added, alarmed to see the bag being poked from the inside.
"What kind of a nut would stuff some pony in a bag and toss them overboard?"
In a flash, Rainbow flew over and scooped the bag from the river in a matter of seconds. And it took no effort at all.
"Gotcha!"
she cried triumphantly.
"Boy, you must be lighter than I thought."
For a brief moment, she thought she heard snorting. But then, it must be because who was in there had to be asleep, unaware of the peril that just happened. She sat down with the sack a few feet from the river, just as Tank coincided with the landing. They high-hoofed, and Rainbow loosened the string on the bag to release the hostage. Or hostages, depending on the numbers inside. On all four hooves, the best flyer in all of Equestria stood out proud and gave off a saying that she had long set aside.
"Never fear! Your friendly neighborhood Rainbow Dashes!"
But before she could finish her catchphrase, she was completely overwhelmed by 4 fawn pug puppies that rushed out of the bag. Half were male, and the other half female. Each weighed a little less than 5 pounds. Even Tank wasn't expecting this kind of gratitude. Rainbow was knocked down on the ground and wiggled helplessly as the ponies smudged her face with their kisses.
"Hey, cut it out!"
she begged, not holding back her laughter.
"Please, stop! You're killing me here!"
The puppies began to stop their kissing and began to nudge Rainbow on her belly. She was starting to get a bit disturbed.
Okay, I get it,"
she said dryly as she sat up, knocking the puppies back to the ground on their feet.
"You're welcome. Now, could you at least go away?"
But of course, the puppies wouldn't. They just nudged Rainbow until she had had enough.
"Come on, Tank,"
she called before zooming into the sky.
"Let's get out of here."
In less than a minute, the blue Pegasus and the tortoise reached the pond on the southeasternmost side of Ponyville. They settled down in a nice, soft, grassy spot. Rainbow sighed contentedly as she lay on her back.
"Well, Tank,"
she spoke, closing her eyes.
"Another save, another thanks. At least we won't be able to see those puppies again."
But Rainbow spoke too soon. Suddenly there was a tiny yip. Rainbow opened her eyes and slowly looked to her right. Pupils shrunk. It was a sound that she had not expected. All 4 puppies were standing next to her. They jumped on her, kissing her and cuddling their way on her back. Rainbow screamed in fright and flew away at top speed, Tank trying to catch up with her. For a whole hour, Rainbow and Tank did all they could to lose the puppies. They tried the mountains, they tried the Everfree Forest, they tried the school playground, they tried the Ponyville Town Hall, but no matter where they went, the puppies were always somehow a step ahead of them and waiting for them. Finally, a couple yards away from the empty Cutie Mark Crusaders clubhouse, Rainbow's patience had snapped.
"Look!"
she spat at the puppies.
"I don't know what's wrong with you, but you're just as annoying as Pinkie Pie asking me for favors or answers. I'm not your mother!" And I'm not even your owner. I already have a pet, she added, giving a quick glance at Tank. So take your curly tails out of here and get lost.
As she turned to leave, she heard a series of small whimpers. She glanced back to see the puppies and saw their sad and lonely faces. The eyeballs were enlarged and beseeching. Rainbow winced at the sight. These puppies were giving her that look, the all too familiar look that any pony would use. But even without that look, they were still so... She didn't stop to hear her mind saying all those fatal words.
Oh, all right, she sighed in defeat. You win.
The puppies jumped and barked with joy, rubbing their bodies on Rainbow as if giving her a hug. One of the males even played with her tail. Rainbow then noticed Tank, who looked as if he had been stabbed in the back. She walked over and placed a hoof on the tortoise's chin.
Listen, Tank,
she reassured him with a warm smile.
I'm not going to be leaving you. You're my #1 pet, and you always will be. But the puppies...
She paused as she looked back at the 6-inch long juvenile pugs.
I can't just leave them. They have no home. No pony to care for them. They need me. Well, they need both of us. You understand, right? Will you help me?
Tank, after a few seconds, gave his slow smile.
That's a good tortoise,
exclaimed Rainbow, giving Tank a high hoof. Both Rainbow and Tank put the puppies in a column of 4 before the blue Pegasus addressed them. Each little pug was paying attention. Rainbow smiled.
All right, little guys, she said. Before we can find you a home, we might as well think up names for you.
She looked to the female puppy to the far left.
You, young lady, shall now be known as... Spitfire! She's the captain of the Wonderbolts, in case you haven't noticed.
She paused for a moment before asking,
Would you like that?
Spitfire yipped and panted happily in response.
All right then,
replied Rainbow, satisfied.
Spitfire it shall be.
She locked eyes on the male puppy in the middle left.
You will henceforth be called Rapid Fire. Like it?
Rapid Fire simply barked and wagged his little curly tail.
You,
Rainbow continued to the female puppies on the middle right, who was the smallest of the 4 pugs,
will be named Fleetfoot. What she lacks in size, she makes up for it with speed. And after watching you closely, I thought it might be cool to give you the name. How's that sound?
Fleetfoot was so overjoyed that she made a few bounces, just like Pinkie Pie.
And as for you,
Rainbow addressed the biggest male puppy on the far right,
I think you've earned the honor of the title.
She paused and blushed for a second before giving out the name.
Soren! What do you think?
Tiny Soren smiled and gave a gentle little nod.
Then it's settled,
Rainbow said.
From this day forward, I hereby dub you all the Wonder Pugs!
The puppies all barked with joy and ran around Rainbow, each of them nudging one of her 4 legs. Rainbow sighed heavily, but a lot more warming than previously.
Okay. No need to keep thanking me with that.
She straightened up, causing the puppies to give her their undivided attention.
Now that you all have your names, let's go find you a nice comfy place to stay.
After distancing herself from the newly appointed Wonder Pugs, she went to confer with Tank on the matter.
Now, who do I know has extra room for tiny puppies?
Then, Rainbow suddenly remembered.
That's it! She exclaimed. I'll take them to Fluttershy. I'm sure she can provide them with...
She stopped, as if she had remembered something else. Then, her face of optimism dropped to one of doubt.
What the hey am I thinking? She's got enough animals at her place as it is.
Tank raised an eyebrow to Rainbow's comment. What was wrong with Fluttershy's home? It was just fine with him before Rainbow met him.
No, we'll have to think of some pony else.
Rainbow thought a little more, and, after just a few seconds, another idea brought her face beaming again.
Of course,
she cried.
Twilight! She'll know what to do. Tank, rally up the Wonder Pugs. We're moving out!